So in this video, we're going to be going over the bent over dumbbell back row. So I'm going to be showing you specifically how to do it here real quick. Also going to be going deeper into 3 to 4 areas of form that you want to focus on and what muscle groups we're going to be working. So when we're doing this bent over back row, it's going to look like this, right? You might have your dumbbells here from the ground, always bent at the knees and the hips, and it's going to look something like this. Our hips are back just like so. Our hands are down here by our legs, keeping the weights close to the body. We're not way out here, keeping it close to the body. And we're pulling just like this, and we're repeating. Now, the tempo should be, again, like I've discussed in other training videos, explode up, hold for a second, 3, 2, 1, down. Explode up, 3, 2, 1, down. Explode up, 3, 2, 1, down. Now, for those of you who already know how to do it, you probably don't need to see any more. But there are some very specific areas we need to focus on when it comes to doing this exercise properly. So I talked about the tempo. Again, if there is any specific tempo that your coach wants you to follow, look in your app and you'll see that right next to tempo, how many seconds they want you to pull and then come down. But again, if there's nothing there, I would focus on exploding in, 3, 2, 1, and then make sure that you're getting a nice stretch here in the shoulder and pull back. Now, the areas of the body we're going to be working here are the lats right here. When we have our hands in close, you're working more of the lats. When we do a pull like this, which will be in another video, we're working more of that upper back up in here. When we have our hands close to the body like this, we're working the lats right here. We are still working the mid traps, the muscles between the shoulder blades, as well as the rhomboids, all right? So what we want to do here is remember where those muscles are at, right? Between the shoulder blades. Imagine my hands are the shoulder blades here, and in between there, linking these, or connected to the spine here, are the rhomboids and the mid traps. And then we have our lats here, which are also being worked as we pull like this. Okay? Now, the 3 to 4 areas of form that we want to focus on is this. Number one, and most importantly, I see a lot of people make this common mistake, is when they're doing this exercise, right? They're up tall like this and they're doing rows, right? That's not good. We want to be parallel. When I bring my torso down, see how my hips are back and my chest is basically pointed straight to the ground? We want to be parallel like this, sticking our hips back. We don't want to be bent forward like this. Hips are back here. Okay, we're in this hip hinge position. And you should feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings when you're doing this. Keep your back straight. The ground is here. We're parallel, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is when you're doing the row, and also when you're in this position, you want to make sure you feel your core engaged like you're doing a plank position, okay? So when you're doing the row, you're going to pull the weight back towards your hip, right? What that's going to do is keep your arm in a good position and keep as much space between the shoulder and the ear as possible. If we're doing our row and we're pulling the weight here and we end up shrugging, what that's going to do is going to more engage the upper trap and could cause a lot of pressure on the shoulder joint, and we're not going to be working that muscle behind the shoulder blade, right? That mid trap and rhomboid, right? So you want to pull the weight back here, and you want to think more like you're driving your elbow back. Less about pulling, more about driving the elbow back, right? And see how my hands end up around the hip line. But I'm also getting a nice stretch at the bottom with your shoulder, and then I pull back, and my shoulder comes back. That is showing that we're moving that shoulder blade. We're getting a nice stretch here at the bottom, and we're pulling just like this. Last but not least, the thing that you want to focus on is that you're looking down at the ground, because if you're looking up like this, you're going to be straining your neck. And on top of that, that might throw your back out of proper positioning. So if we're looking down here, maybe 3 to 4 inches away from or 3 to 4 feet away from your toes, that's going to keep your back in a good position. So we're going to be here. Breathe in as the weight comes down. Blow out as it comes up. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And get a nice squeeze there. So that's how you're going to do the bent over back dumbbell row. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next one.